Also,
I
they can,
love it.
just so you know, they can hear us right now. Just well, throw it out there.
Fine.
Okay.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
Do.
There
That
they
text
are.
is hard to see.
Yep. Do you have a full screen?
Huh?
And also, Nick, you're not wearing glasses. I'm pretty sure. Oh, you gave me the look like, motherfucker. Are you serious?
No, like it because the black on the darker part of the water, that text is hard to see. That's what I mean. I mean, it's
Wow,
yeah.
shit.
On the lighter part, it's gonna see it better.
Is that better for you?
Yeah, I think something with the white text with the black border would work better.
Okay, we'll do that next
But-
time. I would have happily took your input about 45 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yo.
Ah, shit. So, all right. New year, new us. We're gonna scorch everything that's happened in the past 4 months. Everything that's happened in the past 4 months. Nick's looking hard. He's like, what can I put Tyler in blast for this one? A bit of shading over here in the corner I don't like. He's not even looking anymore. How am I supposed to enjoy this judgmental appearance if he's not going to look? Are you using your good eye, Nick?
I
You using your good eye, mate?
think he might kill you.
Oh, he will. He has like a range of like 2,000 miles. I'm pretty sure he could snipe me with that glare. Just.
Death beam. Snipe you from Canada with that angry
Did you say
glare.
death beam? Is he fucking Frieza? Death beam!
Yes.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Takes about 25 seconds. So stand still. How are you doing today? What's your favorite food?
It bends with the curvature of the earth to reach you.
It's now canon. Also, am I okay to host today? Just work on the timing of Z stuff. Are you sure, Nick? Because I know you love hosting. I think you got your own flavor of style that you want to deliver, and I want to set you up onto the platform that you deserve. By the way, Nick, you look great. You okay? You look tired. Maybe it's the lack of glasses.
Dude, I think it's just
He has the
world
1,000-yard
right now.
stare or the 2,000-mile death beam stare. Were you targeting somebody else, motherfucker? Don't kill anybody live on stream.
Kill me.
What?
I'm so sad.
No. This is not the direction we need to go.
But I said it so happily to try and mask it. I'm dying inside.
All right. This next section is going to take like a whole minute here. I need you to be shh. Are you sure you can do this? Look, I can hardly keep you quiet for like 5 seconds, so I'm a little bit nervous on a... Oh, shit. Glenn's muting himself. This is serious. Yeah, I can't hear you. All right. Let's fucking do this. Casual Master Quest, go.
Start your engine for a Sony Computer Entertainment America production. Fasten your seatbelts for another Naughty Dog creation.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Casual Master Quest. I'm going to be your host today, 2 times Tyler, also known as Tyler Vidito. Got my usual awesome co-guests, hosts, whatever you want to call them, superpowers. I had just discovered one of my hosts can actually shoot a death beam up to 2,000 miles, approximately, I think, like 2,600 kilometers for you weird Measure fans out there. The death beamer himself, Nick El Chody Metal. How you doing, buddy?
I don't know what kind of death beam you're talking about. I never admitted to anything.
Oh, that's true. Frieza over here has, proceeded to go to the fifth
Frieza? We have Frieza joining us?
Yes.
Chris Ayers?
There's what?
Chris Ayers. That's the name of the voice actor that plays Frieza.
Chris Ayers, if you're listening and you want to, make a spot appearance, let us know. Our emails are open. And the person given the open offer is there. Glenn Houston, how you doing, buddy?
Great. Just trying to stay positive, Weird times. So
Weird.
It's kind of up and down, but I'm feeling good right now. So that's good.
I'm glad. Yeah, it's been another week, fun week into the quarantine and all that stuff. Mood's a little bit lower than usual. It feels a little drab over here. I've realized that Amanda and I have been kind of at each other's throats a little bit more because I'm used to being out during most of the day, but now that we actually got to see each other for like more than 3 hours, it's like, how do we interact? It's freaky. But enough about me for now. Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Doing alright. I'm just getting through schoolwork. Nothing more than that, really, because right now we're just at the actual final stretch of my undergrad degree, and I've got a few more submissions, and sometime next week I will be done. This time next week, I will officially graduate because I'm not failing anything, and the real prerequisite for me graduating this semester was passing all my courses, and I know I'm going to pass every one of my courses, so I'm not worried about that. So yeah, I will be a Bachelor of Science next week.
What's the full degree title?
Bachelor of Science in the Faculty of Communication Arts and Technology in the School of Interactive Arts and Technology.
That sounds way better than my degree. That's awesome. Sounds like you could basically do anything. It has the word technology in it twice.
He can do anything.
That's our faculty, or I guess it's more the more common word in the States would be department. So the department is Communication Arts and Technology. And then within that, I'm under the School of Interactive Arts and Technology. So as a reminder for anybody who might have forgotten, or if I've never made this clear, we do everything from animation, web design, film, graphic design, branding stuff, conceptual design, speculative design, architecture, and I've done bits and pieces of all of that, interactive art, and here I am, almost done after 5.5 years.
It sounds like almost like a general studies degree, but just with a very heavy technological basis.
I mean,
yeah, like the main focus is on UX and UI, user experience, user interface, at least towards the third and fourth year courses, but we're also looking at user experience from like not just purely an application point of view. We're looking at user experience from a product point of view. From we have 2 architecture courses from that point of view. So like, how do we want keeping the user in mind and user-centric design, essentially making sure that we're designing it for the right reasons and not for the wrong reasons. I mean, there's nothing wrong with designing a product that you want, but if you're going to do that and if you're trying to make it a business, you need to make sure that there's an active market for it. Like, people want it, because if nobody wants it, nobody's going to buy it, and that's going to go under.
That's a bit realistic, I would go as. And also, Glenn, calling it a general study, he spent 5 years for this. Don't call it
No, he's right,
general.
though. No, he's right.
5 years doing, general, or 4 years, 5 years, sometimes 6 doing a general studies degree, just to decide what they want to go get their master's in,
Yeah, no, and he's right. There's very few things that my school goes into depth on. And so, like, everything I just listed off, I've done in some fashion. Like, I've had my hands in all these different, like, pots or cookie jars or whatever metaphor you want to go with. So I'm very much a jack of all trades at this point. And it doesn't help that I can't draw to save my fucking life. I can't draw my way out of a paper bag.
Don't worry, me neither.
And so it was really a struggle for me coming to this when you have all these artsy fartsy people and they know exactly what they're doing and stuff, but then they can't communicate, which is where, haha, I can
Aha.
speak for you, which is why I've really found my niche in terms of like being the
Where you found your voice?
uh, sure, in terms of like, all right, I really like managing all these projects and connecting people and working with people and making sure that these things happen. So that's kind of like what I'm gonna want to try and focus on, and like going into more project management side of things, because
That's
I
how
like
I know
that.
you're going to be a wonderful like communications like expert in the field of technology, because
Thank you.
I just threw like the most random curveball possible at you and made a terrible pun, and you just like were like, and then kept going. You know?
Well,
So
I mean,
somebody will say something stupid, and you'll be like, "Wonderful, let's move on," and then they won't feel stupid, but they will know that their idea is not necessary, that's awesome, man. I'm really.
Wow.
I mean, there's
excited to
always a
find out
time
what
to
you do
address
later.
all the ideas, but
Sure.
yeah, beyond that, so yeah, that's my degree in a nutshell. But my graduation got canceled, so what's
So
happening
bummer,
is,
dude, I'm sorry.
yeah, my university is going to allow us to choose to attend the graduation later this year or next spring. I don't think the one later this year is going to happen. I really don't think so.
Mm.
But the one next spring might be a possibility. So, I'll do the ceremony a year later, but I'll get my paper degree in the meantime. But they are going to do something online later in June, and I'm going to stream it. I'm going to stream the stream of my graduation.
I
Oh,
watched a fun video, looks like over at a university over in China, where it looks like somebody strapped a couple of uniforms with iPads for heads and just kind of like live streamed it that way. That was interesting, a way to do it, if you will. So yeah, Nick, you're gonna get your bachelor's degree soon. Bachelor now, if looking. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure. I've been a bachelor for a while, essentially. Technically, I think
You've had your
wouldn't
bachelor's
you
degree for a long time. It's
He's
just
had some
becoming
padding.
official.
wouldn't you be a bachelor the moment you turn of age, like of marriage, and you're not in a relationship?
Technically,
Technically.
yes.
So I've been a bachelor for a while.
Oh,
You finally get a piece of paper to prove it.
Yes, exactly. It's a piece of paper that'll prove that I'm a bachelor and that I can learn. So hire me, please.
it reminds me of that one little interaction on Land King. It was like, guys, I'm the same old bachelor, but you knew, but with power. Okay.
Sure.
Look, I just threw Nick a curveball, and his response was sure. So I'm sure. I'm not sure. Sure, let's move on. Glenn, it's been a fun week for you. I hope something interesting, something wild.
A decent amount of stuff has been going on. It's just been like I said, it's been kind of up and down, but the people that I have to rely on, being you guys, I get to see you guys twice a week now. Sorry, once a week, where we're not like, I don't know. I feel a little, I don't know. I see you guys twice a week, and that's wonderful. So you guys have been a great rock for me to just something to look forward to. I get to speak to somebody outside of the house, because I don't really
Some
like
sort of
talking to my
structure.
parents, because they are wonderful people, but I don't think they really like what I'm doing with my life.
Isn't
So it's
that
always
such
that awkward conversation.
an interesting contraction? But I love it when you get to say something nice. But then we got to
You look
slap down the hard
fantastic in
truth.
that suit, but
But?
just kidding.
Yes,
No, but
but
they-
motherfucker.
So they just kind of move on in conversations. They're like, we need to talk to you, but I never have anything new to report. And when I do talk to them about things like the video game podcast or the D&D podcast or, a live stream I'm doing or what I'm streaming personally, they're like, cool. And
Yeah.
then we just move on,
The glazed eye treatment. It's an unfortunate
Yeah.
thing, but
And my wife is in the professional world doing, a more traditional job. And so they're always very interested to hear about it, and so it always ends up being me sitting there while they talk to Sarah about her work, which is fine. So either way, though, I'm very much looking forward to, because my in LA group that used to play D&D, I say used to because we moved to mobile like we do for casual quest masters, and they just weren't feeling it, so that got canceled. But I'm running a game, and I think I told you guys this earlier, but for the audience, I'm running a game with my brother, his girlfriend, who's been dating for almost 2 years, who I've never met, and my first dungeon master. So I'm really looking forward to doing that tonight.
Ooh, you get to play with your first. Isn't that a fun
Yeah.
experience? Get to show them all the things you've gathered, the knowledge, the moves, the swing, the stamina.
I don't think I've DM'd for him in like, I don't know if I've ever actually DM'd for him. So I
Ooh.
played with him and as a player and had him as a DM, but I don't know if I've ever actually DM'd for him. So it'll be fun to see how he feels about his Padawan, having become a Jedi,
Right.
Yeah.
Glenn, you're such a
Yeah,
player,
so, I
you
mean-
know?
I'm a player.
You a player.
I'm a player. How so?
You're talking about how you're always nothing but a player to him.
Oh, yeah. Well, for him, I'm always a player, hate the player, not the game.
Wait,
I mean,
what?
hate the game, not the player. No. Anyway, other than that, it's been kind of up and down. I'm really looking forward to Zul'Garash. Zul'Garash is coming out in WoW soon, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, there's some fun things I'm looking forward to. May start doing a painting stream just to do something a little different with my days.
Ooh, feeling artistic. Look at you.
Yeah, crafty boy. I also have a couple commissions I need to get going on.
Get
so.
a wig and then turn into Globros.
Globros. I should. Yes, please. Also, my wife has a degree in theater, and she was the wig master for a theater show that they did there.
Now that's a
Because
fucking title right there. The Wig
Right?
Master.
Yeah, because there were so many wigs in that show, they literally had to have somebody who was just in charge of wigs, and that was her job. So she would be the one to kind of like help me get a good one. So
You would think with how crafty the theater business is and all that, it would be like Wigmeister or something like that. But Wigmaster has a more aggressive
know.
tone to it.
I
like
don't know
it.
if that was an official title. That's just something I called her just now.
Oh, God.
It's
I think
official.
in the-
No, it's official.
It's official. There's a job out there
Now I
called
feel bad.
the Wigmaster.
Wigwam Master.
The-
Have you heard that joke in WoW? When he goes, I walked up to a guy. He was camping, and he seemed confused, and he said, "I'm a teepee. I'm a wigwam. I'm a teepee. I'm a wigwam." And I said, "Relax, guy. You're too tense."
No, I never heard of it. Can you tell me again?
I'm a teepee. I'm a wigwam. I'm not gonna do it again. Either way.
Okay.
I like that joke, and it's fun.
Back in the day, sometime around 2010 or whatnot, there used to be somebody I played with. Her name was Linda, and some reason she would get such a kick out of that one joke. So every single time she seemed like she was in a bad mood, I would have to spam silly on my human paladin until I hit the one.
Just hope it doesn't get the one about the movie idea.
Oh my gosh.
So long.
There's a joke that's like 30 seconds, 45 seconds long, and it's just basically like, hey, I'm going to make an idea that's about Lord of the Rings, except it has nothing but World of Warcraft references. And it just goes on and on and on. And it's like, well, it's either that or the racist one about the Torrens, or I can hit the racist one about, teepees and wigwams. Cool. Whatever works. It's so weird how
Yeah.
2004 jokes kind of aged a little poorly in hindsight, you know?
Yeah, don't translate super well.
That's weird. Well.
Right.
And over in my end,
funny.
it's been an interesting week. I got to try something. I got to make something. I got to make something. So in preparation to accepting the loss of my beautiful Vancouver vacation, that was a fun word to say twice together. Vancouver vacation. Oh God, nope, can't do it on the first try. Vancouver vacation. One of the things I was looking forward to was making boba tea. Not making it. Preferably not making it, just drinking the damn shit.
Right.
Unfortunately, life is hell. Was not able to do that. And the closest thing I have is this weird bastardized version, which I talked about, I believe, sometime last year. I'm guessing exactly 1 year ago, maybe about 11 months ago, where my local company decided to introduce boba tea to the American audience, but then proceeded to essentially, instead of milk tea or whatnot, did some kind of equivalent of Kool-Aid with weird flavor syrup for the little balls in it, and it was like
Sounds disgusting.
it just screams diabetes. And honestly, I was not into it. I tried it one time, just like, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Tried it, hated it so much. And so I figured the only way I'm going to get the something close to what I enjoyed back in the day. And thank you, Nick, for introducing me to this, because it's such a good drink when it's made properly. We'll get to that in a second here. So I looked up the recipe, and it's actually fairly fucking simple. Get a bunch of tapioca pearls, cook them motherfuckers, use them within 2 hours before they harden. Get some black tea. I was trying to find I think it's called a Chinese breakfast tea, but I couldn't find that, so I had to make do with English breakfast tea, which has a good strong fragrance, but it's not quite the same when you're trying to go for something that's based out of Taiwan. But decided to do that. Add some.
It's still black tea though.
It's still black tea. Just a little bit different flavor. You think somebody like me who can't tell the difference between steak is gonna notice that? Probably not. Mix it together. Add some sweetener to it, threw it all together, and what I had was, in fact, it was bubble tea, boba tea. It actually went out pretty fucking good. I was very impressed. Made a little mistake though. I accidentally made 4 times the pearls I was supposed to for my drinks. I had a good giant mason jar size thing, and I was trying to make one for 2 of those. Just a small amount in moderation, than a small mason jar for my wife. And I think I made enough to fill up 6 large mason jars. And that was a very, very poor decision on my part.
That's a lot of boba.
That's a lot of fucking boba. So I decided what better way to compensate that by putting almost all the fucking pearls in one mason jar. Nick, that was a bad idea on my part. Glenn?
I would imagine.
That was a very bad idea on my part. So, mind you, I make this right before my wife's getting ready to start streaming. And so, I'm throwing this shit together. Turns out pretty good in my book. Wife doesn't like tea, doesn't like milk. So, a better way than, combining the 2 together and giving it to her. With these weird gummy bear floating motherfuckers in the bottom of the drink. But, so, I'm trying to suck these motherfuckers up, as much as I can, because, there's only so much slurp you can get, how many pearls per slurp, essentially, up that straw. And so, before you know it, I run out of milk tea, and now I got, 50 of these fucking pearls stuck at the bottom of my glass. And so, while she's streaming, I'm sitting there trying to, quietly suck up a pearl. Well, without water or viscosity of any sort to slow it down, that's a reverse BB gun. And I immediately shot myself in the uvula 3 times in a row with
burst fire, no.
Bullseye, no, record. And it's
Got to turn off friendly fire.
And it fucked my shit up. I ended up having to throw a lot of tapioca pearls, but I cooked them the right way.
Those things are hard to keep too. Yeah.
They turn stiff after 2 hours. So after you cook them, you better eat them fast.
Yep.
And
In the stores, they have them on, those large drums, things where they keep soup and they keep it warm.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's what they usually store them in throughout the duration of a couple of hours as they're doing business, and then they make a new batch as needed. So because it's constantly warm and not hot or boiling, but it's warm enough, it doesn't harden up.
right. And I also had to keep in mind, because the tapioca pearls in general, they're not very digestible, so to speak. They can be broken down, but it's kind of like swallowing gum. Maybe not to that extent. And so I had to be careful. I can't consume too many at once, because that shit will constipate you. It will, it's slowly working around your small intestines. And I'm not sure if you've ever touched one of those things, Nick, after they started, after that time period. They turn really sticky. I made the tapioca pearls a little bit early before I had the tea cool down. And so I reached in to grab a couple, and it was like that fucking guy from My Hero Academia with those purple balls. I couldn't get them fuckers off. And
Mineta, I think that's his
sounds right. So I'm sitting there shaking my hand. Eventually, one would break free, but then would get stuck to the wall. And, I'm trying to, God damn. And my wife's like, what? I'm like, nothing. And so I'm sitting there trying to, like, pluck him. It's like, all right, shit, get off my hand. And I'm sitting there trying to, like, rub it against the trash can and stuff, but now it's stuck to the edge of the trash can. So I'm trying to, like, power flick him into the bag, but then they get stuck back to my finger.
It's like a big old booger.
I was trying to figure out what the fuck to do. It turns out I just had to rinse them in water again, just get rid of the stickiness for a second. But I have no idea what's happening in my my gut right now. But I knew if I had too many of those, that was going to be bad news. There's actually a news article about a 14-year-old girl who tried consuming a very large quantity of these things and had to go to the hospital because they blocked up her system. She couldn't poop for like 4 or 5 days, and so. Unfortunately, there's only one solution to that, and it starts with L and ends with laxatives. So I didn't want to go that route, hence why I had to throw the stuff away. Beyond that, got to work on some transitions. As anybody who's watching the stream probably notices, I've been having fun with animation stingers, which is the thing that pops up between scenes and whatnot, and got to learn how to do that. Thankfully, most of the legwork is done by people who already did green screen work. I think I want to try making my own green screen animation full on versus what I did, because old Tyler loves taking somebody else's work, adding some changes to it, and then boom, there it is, CMQ property, which isn't how that should work. So I figured, if I could find something cool that I made myself, that would be awesome, something to look forward to. Had some fun working on animation or different transition scenes for each of us and whatnot. Like right now it's focused on me and have you cool cats in the background, but eventually we'll switch back and all that stuff. Beyond that though, most of my week has been kind of focused on the video game world, And sure as shit, look at this. It's in fact a video game podcast. The gasp.
I like video games.
You like video games, Glenn?
I
You
hate
like
video games.
I hate. Why am I even?
Get
here?
out of here! Burn him!
I'm moderately neutral
A
about
witch.
video games. There, now we have the triumvirate of emotions about video games.
Video games suck.
Hey!
Video games are okay.
Video games are
Hey!
stupid.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Nick, are you okay?
Video games make your brain rot.
Nick needs a fucking Snickers over here.
Oh, I've got my chocolate milk. I'm okay. And I don't like
okay.
Snickers.
Glenn, video game world. What's
Mm.
been like over back on your end, buddy?
A lot of WoW Classic.
Wow,
I
classic,
think you
really?
guys- Yeah, no joke, right? Let me look at exactly what I wrote because I want to make sure I don't forget anything. So, in ZG, or not ZG, oh my god, BWL, I got Doom's Edge, which is so I finally have 2 epic weapons, which is really nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I feel good about it. And I think last week I told you guys I got Edge Masters. I think maybe 2 days before that. And I owed the guy 2,500 gold. Well, I've basically paid him off. Like, I've earned more than 2,500 gold in assets. I'm about, I think, 80 gold away from being able to pay him off and have nothing, but then I'll still have 10 golden pearls in the bank that I've just farmed. And those things go for a pretty penny, 30 to 50 gold a pop, depending where the market's at.
Yeah.
So I'll actually have money to buy consumables, which I bring to raids now. I actually do bring potions of the mongoose and stuff like that to try and help out. And lo and behold, you do better and deal more damage when you bring the right stuff. So I'm super
Really?
excited about that. Yeah. Don't tell my guildies I wasn't bringing the right pots. I was buying the poor man's pots, but so yeah, paid off Edge Masters. ZG's coming out, Zul'Garash, the new little 2 times a week raid.
Zul'Garash, is that a variation of
sometimes in
Zul'Jurub?
April. I don't know what Zul'Jurub is.
Oh,
Remember, I
I don't know
only
what
have
the
knowledge of.
I don't. Garrosh is like a player or an NPC / antagonist in like 5 years worth of expansions from now. You mean Zul'Jurub,
Maybe.
the one I was talking about, the Mind Flayer plague and all that stuff? We'll just call it
no,
ZG.
I-
Fuck it. I have no idea.
Because I
Then.
know that it's in Stranglethorn Vale. I know that the entrance to Zul'Garash is in Stranglethorn Vale to the south on the western or eastern.
I think Tyler. Sorry, Tyler's right. I just did a quick Google for somebody who doesn't know anything about WoW. It's not Garrosh. It's Garub.
Zul'Garub. Yes, sorry. I said Garrosh.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the
You're
exact reason why we just call it ZG as you suggested in the first place. Because
ZG.
let's be real, are we going to ask all the more simple-minded than you, Glenn? I know that's backhanded. I'm just talking about the general population is not going to remember the name Zel'Jurub or Jurub.
Yeah.
Or Garrosh, or whatever the fuck it's called. CG.
I think I also combined it with Garrosh the Dervish because I've been farming the hell out of BRD, still trying to get my SGC.
Okay, I can work with you here.
Yeah, I did 25 runs yesterday.
Holy shit, dude.
One time. Yeah, I have a way. I message Priest with a macro where I say I'll pay them 2 gold per run, and it'll take 30 minutes from when they get there. And I keep all of the items that drop and go in Master Looter. So I usually end up only spending about 2 to 4 gold on each run after I sell the BOEs and BOPs. But it's a great way to farm it because I can get, in 25, 30 minutes. I've done 5 runs and then I'm locked out and I go do something else and then I can come back and in 25, 30 minutes and do it again if I want.
Sounds like me back in the day for Strathhome trying to get that fucking epic mount.
Oh my god, I saw one the other day. We've had 2 on our server. One guy got it in the first 2 weeks.
No
and
shit.
Then stopped playing. Yeah, and then he stopped playing.
Damn.
And the other guy got it last week, and he had run it less than 5 times, and had all blues and greens on. And the fucker came back to Stormwind and stood in the middle, and we just all went, "Fuck you, man!" Like everyone was so. I mean, I was really in awe to see it because it's a cool mount. Like it's just the undead mount, I think.
Yes.
With
Baron
Fiery
Rivendare's
Hoof,
charger. Isn't it something though that when people get some cool shit, the general response from depending on the type of community, it's either "Holy shit, congratulations" to "Heathen, be gone." It's like it's interesting that it's
one of those things where I think people felt like he hadn't really earned it. He ran the dungeon less than 5
he
times.
just got lucky. It's like that's how it fucking works. You get lucky. It's whether or not you get lucky sooner or later.
Yeah, it's like one of our guys came in, and I think I told you guys this, but he did BRD twice. Got hand justice on the first run, Savage Gladiator on the second one, hasn't had to do it again. I am now over 250 runs, and I have not seen Savage Gladiator yet. So, when he said I got it on the second run, there was a little bit of fuck you. I felt real angry because I had spent so much time grinding that stupid dungeon, and I still am. But I was still very excited for him.
Sometimes these items aren't optional. Sometimes you actually need them in order to get yourself the boost you need.
Yep.
It's so
Fury Warrior, no tiered gear. I need all drops.
It's unfortunate, but true.
Yes. I chose this, even though I didn't know it. But then the last thing that's going on with WoW this week is AV Weekend. And Battlegrounds get double rep, which is how it was supposed to work. Because back when Vanilla was out, that's how it worked. When you did turn ends for scrap metal or whatever in AV, instead of getting 1 rep, you got 2. And then if you won, you got a little bit of bonus rep. Now,
I wonder if this would be Nick's territory if he ever somehow considered WoW again, just like pure PvP Battlegrounds.
If you do pure PvP Battlegrounds, just go Horde. That's all I'm going to say. They win literally 90 to 95% of the games they play.
I mean,
and the reason why that sucks is because the double rep only counts if you win. So now no one plays again. The Horde have 4-hour queues to get into single AV games. And that's why they farm the fuck out of us when they do get the chance, because their queues take forever. But one of my Horde buddies said he got to Exalted with Stormpike Sentinels in 5 games. I did 5 games and got 600 rep. It was so bad.
Geez.
Yeah, it's real bad. And a lot of the community, it snowballs a little bit. People are like, "Oh, Horde are just the PvP guys. That's because all the maps have inherent advantages, and their racial bonuses make them fucking impossible to kill. The Shaman, so much better than the Paladin. Don't give me shit. And so, like, these inherent advantages make them better, so Alliance don't want to PvP, and then the Horde complain about their long queues, which is because of the inherent advantages. And so it's just this snowballing thing where literally Blizzard just is completely silent on it, and they won't respond. And it's making people not want to play, and so it's unfortunate. And I'm never going to get Don Julio's banned because I can't get rep. In the double rep weekend, I'm getting, granted, before double rep, I could get anywhere from 500 to 2,000 rep. Now I'm getting 100-ish during the double rep weekend.
What a time to be alive, Glenn, when 2020 sucks, so what better way is to try to go back to 2005, which also currently sucks.
Well, no, it's not that it sucks. It's just that I have a lot of time to hyper-focus on these things. So if, given normal circumstances, I probably wouldn't care half as much. But when I invest as much time as I do because of the quarantine, the issues mean a little bit more. But I'm still having fun with it. The guys in the guild have been really cool. I've found out slowly over time that there's probably about 10 of the active members that are in the Los Angeles area. So once this whole thing is over, I think I'm going to actually get to meet some of these guys, which would be really cool.
And I'm sure they're excited to hear your strong opinions.
Well, they have. You want to hear strong opinions? Woo!
Uh-oh. I just heard like the shotgun being cocked in Glenn's head. Just.
All I'm saying is I have strong opinions, but I've only been playing this game for 8 months, or 7 months, or whatever. They've been playing this game since vanilla, so they have way more strong, well-founded opinions. But enough about WoW. That's basically all I've been playing this week. So
Okay.
I'm done talking.
I mean, that's fair. We do have other games that we want to talk about that's focused between the three of us, including Brandon, but I figured we'd save that for last. But for now, Nick, what's the usual score looking like nowadays?
Nothing except the games that we all played.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, that game that we played together.
Yeah, that one game. Then before the games that we played together, there was more than one. Then I will go over to give my final recount over a little something called Death Stranding. I done beat Death Stranding. I won Death Stranding.
Well done.
I saw that video on Twitter. I think it needs to go viral because it was wonderfully
emotional.
I don't know. The excitement that was there was palpable. It was wonderful.
That was probably the most emotional I've gotten in a game for a while. Like before, a game can strike emotional, like I'm sad, I'm angry or whatnot, but that one was just like pure euphoria. To go like in further detail about this, I got the platinum trophy for Death Stranding. And I think that's a remarkable achievement because that's my first platinum I've gotten since 2009 for Dead Space on the PS3.
Whoa.
For those
Why
who
do you
don't
think that is?
For me getting a platinum trophy, or
yeah, why do you think that hasn't happened since Death Stranding or since Dead Space? Is it just because you enjoyed this game that much that you wanted to play it more, or what do you think?
I think it's because it feels like Death Stranding, their trophies were attainable, and I realized that I had such a good setup with the game that it felt like not only could I do it, I could do it efficiently. Like for example, like the big trophy that I was shooting for initially was getting a 5-star connection with each of the bases, which meant I had to deliver to them, make them happy, yada yada yada. And it's like I, as previously known as the Great Connector, was able to basically set up zip lines and roads to every single place. There was no place I couldn't reach. And so it's like, okay, if I can do this and I don't have to trudge every fucking way, let's do this. Let's connect them all. And I did that, and I'm like, hell yeah. There's only like 5 more trophies left, and these are all reasonable. So, like, the final 2 that I had to go for was collect all the collectibles, aka memory chips, like this little basically glowy stuff in the ground throughout
In-game
all the
lore.
map. Yeah. I think there was 56 of them throughout the entire game I had to go for, and I also needed to get each of my skills up to 60. I had 4 out of the 5 up to 60 already, the last one being time-sensitive stuff. So basically I had to beat the clock on certain missions I did. And some reason I was falling behind on that the entire fucking game, and it was causing me a little frustration because I don't do good under pressure, under any circumstances. Like, if it's a fragile load, I just got to be careful. Oh, hopefully. But if it's a time thing, it's like, cool. I know I can do this in 10 minutes. Oh, shit. It's giving me 60 minutes to do it. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I panic. I've joked about it before, like Final Fantasy VII, there's like a 20-minute timer, and it takes 5 minutes to do it. I freak the fuck out. It's like, I start shouting when people attack me. I'm like, dude, you're not important. Get out of my life. And I'll just run. I had a similar problem with Majora's Mask with the 3-day cycle. I like, oh shit, I got 3 days to do this one, which is what the game wants you to think. You're like, oh shit, there's a real pressure with the time limit. And because of that, I just completely shied away from doing those missions in general. But had those last 2, finished my time-sensitive mission. That was the very last achievement. Collecting all the memory chips was a little bit tedious, but it wasn't a big deal. There was a bit of a problem that caught up with me in the last 10-15 hours of the game, and that caused me a little frustration. So from what I can understand, in order to see other people's structures on the map, you need to what is called connect to the network, which basically means the base in that area, I gotta make them happy enough, get them to like 2 stars, and they'll join up, they'll connect to the network, and then I can build structures and see other people's structures. Obviously, I do that from the very beginning area, the east coast of the this map, and I started working my way west. And each time it did that, it would load somebody's structure, a bunch of people's structures at full health. Cool, that's great. Problem is though, because of timefall, aka rain that makes everything take damage, that stuff started whittling down. And so by the time I got to the 70-80 hour mark, all the stuff that got loaded up in the beginning of the game started breaking down like mad. By the time I started collecting these little memory chip things, all the stuff that I built, including my zip lines through the mountains, started breaking down. Suddenly, I'm losing all the stuff that the Great Connector has been working on for the past 2 weeks, and I'm watching stuff on the map just break down left and right all around me. And the only way I can fix that for the people's other stuff is either I can spend material on it, I'm not going to do that, or I can delete it. And if I delete it, I'm under the mindset that if I delete it, it's going to upload somebody else's structure into that thing. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't check to see, how many structures popped up after I delete, because I had to delete, I'm going to guess somewhere around 100 to 200 different structures across the map that I just couldn't use anymore. They were bad. And, it's kind of depressing watching me essentially do cleanup in the game, where the last part of the game, I got to traverse the entire world essentially to find these different things, and it started causing some rough slowdown. But thankfully, I got through it regardless. I did the little bits here and there. A lot of these locations weren't places I've ever connected anyways. They're out in the boonies essentially. They put these little memory chips in places that you don't expect to walk out to. And so I did that, found 2 missions that gave me the last few levels I needed to get the final skill, and then you saw me when I turned in the last mission in the video on Twitter where I lost my shit. I didn't think it was gonna, well, it wasn't that easy, but I didn't think it was actually going to happen. There was a point like at the 85 hour mark where I was like, I think I'm getting burnt out. I don't think I want to play anymore. I'm watching my progress fall apart before my eyes. Like just walking around and seeing your structure has been destroyed, or, just seeing that, it just felt like a constant stream of pessimism being thrown against me by the game itself. And that kind of started dragging me down, and it's like, maybe I should just be happy that I beat the game, enjoyed it. But I pushed through. I said, fuck all that. The Great Connector started connecting a little bit more, and I got the fucking trophy. And I was such euphoria that the next day, aka yesterday, Friday for audio listeners and all that, I was burnt out. I was fucking Son Goku after you used Ultra Instinct twice in a row. I was just smoking over here, just smoldering. I'm like, what game do I play? I don't even know anymore. Like, I hit such burnout. I sat here, like, listening to my wife stream over there, just kind of staring forward. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do anymore. I'm trapped in this house. She's not trapped in here with me. I'm trapped with her. And like, it just turned into this horrible mindset where I was just mad for 12 hours in straight yesterday, where I just didn't know what to do. And Nick in the chat is throwing me a couple of statistics on the website that talks about PSN trophies. Fun fact, out of the registered PSN owners and all that stuff, or people that connected to the PSN, only half the people have beaten this game after they got it. Which, it's a 50-hour game. It has an incredible loss rate. And then for the platinum, there's 2.5%. There's a total of 10,000 platinum trophy owners out there in the world. That's platinum Death Stranding. So I felt pretty good that I was one of the 10,000 people that, went for the full goal. I kind of sympathize with those 10,000 people a little bit more because they're just as crazy as I am. And now I'm trying to figure out what game I want to stream. And I think I was telling Nick this, and I talked about it with the wife a little bit better. Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out next week. I just want a game that makes me feel good. Just a nice, simple, sit in a hot tub kind of game. And we're looking for something like Stardew Valley or Terraria or something like that. Just, something just to relax, enjoy myself a little bit. And beyond that, though, I got to play a little bit of World of Warcraft retail. Played it with the wife a little bit more. Played a little bit by myself. Shadow Priest apparently is fucking OP. And during my Keanu Reeves moment yesterday, I decided to get out of the house and head over to a couple of friends. Nick, you know them, Justin and Shelby. They were getting ready to do a D&D session that night, and so what better way than bonding with them for an hour and a half than completely ruining our relationship with Mario Party.
Nice.
And I kind of felt bad because I've never won a Mario Party game ever in that for the Switch version. I'm sure hopefully I've won at one point back in like Nintendo 64 days, but yeah, it was looking kind of rough. They decided to give the computer hard difficulty. Computer proceeded to steal second place's stars, aka me, instead of first place for some reason. So I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And immediately turned into like, mega corporations are trying to keep us down. This is why we need healthcare. And, like, it turned into that. Me and Justin were like, okay, us underdogs need to stick together. I get 2 stars. I'm like, so long, sucker. I get the bonus stars, both of them, for bad luck spaces and winning the most mini games. And it just, out of pure bullshit, I end up winning the game. And so I get to hear the aftermath of that tomorrow for our D&D session, see how that goes.
Oh, man.
But last weekend, guys, us 3 plus Brandon, we got to play a couple of games together, a couple of interesting games together.
Oh, man, I'm interested to know if either of them will happen again.
Ooh, what's this? Somebody's interested in making something happen. Let's talk about the first one. I think this one's more important. It's just a personal opinion. Keep talking, nobody explodes. What do you guys think? Is it on the menu? Can we talk?
I think so. It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm in the mode like you are now, Tyler, where I just want to play games that I can turn off for because I just need to I don't want to think about things because when my brain's going, I think about things and then I get sad or I get mad or I, just want to be alone or I get antisocial.
Oh boy, that was the wrong game then.
Yeah, so because that game really, for our listeners, it is what is it? $10? Thank you for that, by the way, guys. They gifted me and surprised me with playing this game, and they were all like, they had these shit-eating grins as soon as I got on the internet, and I was just like, this is gonna be interesting, and it was fun. But I just have to be in the right frame of mind,
Yeah, basically, Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes. For those who don't know, it's a game where you have one person who actually opens the game and they have to defuse a bomb. And there's a bomb with several different modules. And the other players, in this case, we started off with Glenn as the bomb diffuser, and then me, Brandon, and Tyler as the bomb diffusal experts. We just had a
Experts in
quote
quotations.
unquote experts.
Yeah.
Um,
Here's a 20-page manual. Go.
yeah, and we just had a 20-page manual, and we weren't allowed to see the game. We're not allowed to see screens, whatever. Glenn had to describe us visually what he saw so that we could find the correct like matching module and show him how to like walk him through how to diffuse each, like which wire to cut, how many wires it have.
man.
If it has specific wires, then you'd cut this wire.
Yep.
The Morse code section, you got to listen to or like
Ew.
watch the flashing of the beeps and then decode the message,
Yeah.
and put a right frequency,
Afterwards,
different things with the button. Yeah,
I got really frustrated in game because I was like, why is it just a flashing light? And I was like, duh, to make a game that the hearing impaired can still play. Because like if it's, but I was like, why not offer an option where when it flashes, it also makes a sound? Because for me, that's way easier to translate into dot dash, you know? But anyway, it was fun. I mean, when I was having a good time, I was having a good time. But when I got frustrated, boy, was I frustrated.
When Nick first spitballed this game towards me, I'm like, okay, this is a game I can see us. And I was like, but who's going to be the person handling the bomb? And the first thing that came out of Nick's mouth was, Glenn, 100%. I'm like, oh, no. Oh, yeah, yes.
I will not deny that. Yeah, I'm like, it would be an interesting. Yeah,
I mean,
would be
what
interesting to
better
see that
way
happen.
Beep, beep, beep.
than
Beep.
seeing Glenn's face when he realizes he has to somehow describe Morse code audibly.
Oh, God.
That was probably one of my
big
favorite
number
moments.
with 4 other numbers below it, and there's some buttons off to the side. Blah, blah, blah. Granted,
There's-
once you kind of get into the rhythm and you understand what you're looking for, it's a lot more enjoyable. The
It was-
learning part was the most frustrating part, honestly.
It was 100% a team building exercise for the 4 of us
Mhm.
because I started
Yeah.
organizing. I'm like, all right, you have this, you have this, you have this, and just like preparing people that have their own specific roles and whatnot, have them specialize almost at a certain point, and then we'd mix it up. It just the idea of going from the seat to the manual was actually boggling to me. Like when I went into the chair, I'm thinking like, I've read the manual, I know what's going on. Oh fuck! How do I describe this complicated wiring? Like that was a
Right.
fun one, and yeah, we got not all the way in, thankfully, because there's complicated levers and whatnot that the person holding the bomb also has to do just to keep things going. Thankfully, we didn't go that far, but having fun, like writing down the memory game or whatever you want to call it, where they give you a bunch of different letters and you got to
The
figure out which
sequences.
word.
Yeah,
Complicated
Complicated
wiring.
is fucking hard.
Wire sequence. I still haven't learned how to do that yet. I haven't gotten the shot at that yet. And still, my favorite, that fucking Morse code where I'm trying to go beep, 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 beep. Oh shit.
yeah. Glenn, you
Beep,
got
beep,
really
beep,
good
beep.
at decoding that. Maybe not
Yeah,
like
for
describing
as
it,
much
but
as
you
I
got really
hated
good
it,
at decoding.
You're like,
Conveying it,
all right,
I was
I think
decoding
they
it.
want
Let's
the
go.
bomb Paris. Oh shit. Just like
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gave me 2 letters, and for the most part, it was okay because process. It was honestly just process of elimination. There's only a limited number of words it can be.
this one has a
Yeah.
K that limits it on the 3 words. Give me one more letter, Tyler, and I'll figure out
Yeah.
crack the code.
If it's ST, I need the third one. But if it's RO, there's only one word that starts with those 2 letters. So
Right,
that was easy enough.
Right.
The
That
password
was
one is
fun,
the one I
though.
hate the most because I don't like anagrams. I'm not good
Hey.
with where you have like the clicker and then it goes through.
Oh,
I fucking hate
Yeah.
that so
I
yeah,
loved
much.
when I was doing it, Tyler he wasn't even on that one, and he still got it before me. He's like, "Sorry, did I step on your toe?" I was like, "No, I don't care. I hate that crap.
Like
Thank you
doing
for doing it for me."
it's a process of elimination quickly. It's like, all right, the second one is like 90% either going to be a T or a vowel. And so it's like, okay, run down these letters. The only vowel is an O. So, P-O, and it's like, okay, maybe. But then you start to find ones that click. You got to run through the algorithm. Okay, look at the list. Is there any words that say P-O? And then you just run it down. Or eventually,
there's
it's
potty.
Sure.
yeah, hypothetically. But
Poopy. Sorry.
after that, Yes, thank you. Thank you. That's more politically correct term. Poopy versus potty. I need to go poopy. We played another game immediately after that. And
Yes, we did.
I just want to preface this by saying, whenever I talk about games that I will or will not play, I'm full of shit, so don't ever listen to me. Tyler, do you want to tell us about this next game?
So it was a mixture of peer pressure. I'm going to say mostly from Glenn and probably Brandon. I was not going to try to coerce Nick into making this commitment any earlier than he felt ready to, because
Whoa.
if he hates...
I did not coerce him. I just said it
I
would be
felt
fun
coerced.
and I wouldn't. You did? I was
I felt
surprised
coerced.
you gave in because I only said it would be
was
really
coerced.
fun. And then I gave it up. And then you were
It's-
like, guys, let's do it. It's downloading. And I was like, oh!
Nick's Wall of Resistance is a 2-layer structure. The first one is like this beautiful Game of Thrones solid steel, but the other side, 90% of the rest of it is just cobblestone. So every time you pounded against it, he looked strong as shit, but the other side of his wall was breaking down immediately.
Well, it just purely depends on the genre. It wasn't the MOBA, so I was like, fine, I'll give it a shot, because I've given the MOBAs plenty of tries, and I can't fucking stand MOBAs. I can't stand to play them. I really can't. They drive me fucking insane.
So we
I
knew
just don't want to play fucking MOBA.
there was no chance that we were going to get him to play League of Legends, which is understandable. Play
Yep.
10,000 hours, would not recommend. Kind of mentality. But the auto chess version of that, known as Teamfight Tactics, is a different ballpark. It's a not really a turn-based strategy. It's its own thing. It's auto chess. It's a strategy game.
Same
though. It's
launcher, different game entirely. You know?
completely different style game. And as somebody who's been playing a lot of it recently, because I managed to get up to gold. Hey,
Hey, congrats, dude.
thank you. I hit my goal. Now I actually don't ever want to play it again until
Cool.
next season.
Yeah.
But
Gold.
go. What? Oh, I hit my
You hit your
gold.
gold.
Yeah, I hit my
Because it's
gold.
your goal and you hit gold.
Ah, look at you. bud.
I'm a bad joker.
So
Anyway, sorry.
imagine old Tyler and Brandon's drinking away every time they take a shot. Glenn's hitting a little happy pen, and like I said, two of
Nick's
us,
drinking water.
and Nick was definitely drinking water the entire time. What better way to test Nick's Game of Thrones Wall of Resistance than repeatedly shouting, "Install this, install this." So Nick eventually installs it, and we started playing Teamfight Tactics together. And Nick, what are your thoughts?
I
You
like
heard
it,
us. He likes it. That's scary.
but I don't like playing with people.
Yeah, I get that. You don't want to share units and all that shit, and someone's always losing.
Teamfight Tactics was it was fun. It was good to like kind of jump into and just kind of explore and figure it out. Get kind of like it reminds me of FIFA Ultimate Team, where you kind of build a team, and then depending on whether the players were from, like, you get chemistry. So if the players are from the same country, they get like a weak bond. But if they're from the same country and club, they get a stronger bond. And so like that was what stuck out to me initially, like almost immediately. Each kind of unit has its own tags or class, and so you want to try and get as many of those together on the field at the same time. And so the biggest challenge for me is knowing what characters do what, or heroes or champions, I guess in this case. And that I guess was my biggest disadvantage, because I don't know shit. And so that caused a lot of like, I couldn't tell you who's got the better ult or whatever, because I'm sure that even comes into play even once you're building like the kinds of comps or whatever. You're like, okay, you know, I could have a gold in this, but having a silver in this, but this dude on the field at like level 2 is probably going to do more damage with his ult, which is going to be more useful for my comp. I don't know anything about that. The game honestly doesn't make it easy to learn that, because there's
Right.
just so much information coming at you in
there is
such
a
a
lot.
small amount of time. Right,
Right.
because you have all these different champions with all these different abilities and all these different numbers, and
Also
then you've
weird
got
that
20
there's
or
no
30
tutorial.
seconds in each break.
Yeah, like regular League of Legends has like a 45-minute walkthrough to teach you how to click and point. But TFT's just like, all right, go.
Open the pit, throw him in. Good luck
Yeah, I mean,
climbing up.
It makes sense because it's from the same launcher, so they're mostly expecting maybe initially for just LoL players to just come in and just transition through that and try that,
Mhm.
so that you'd already have an idea if you've been playing League of Legends for a decent amount of time on who does what. But for new players, they're really it's very like it's a very steep learning curve, because not only on top of building the right composition and like what kind of champions do what, and like you also have to learn how to manage economy, which is
Oh
something
yeah.
absolutely fucking dog shit at right now, and that's what like leads to my downfall most of the time now towards the end. Like I start
Yeah,
strong.
you're really good. You almost always like halfway through the game, first or second place. Like
Because well,
I
I think
was
it was
so
you or
impressed.
Brandon that said you want to like make sure you match up the same units, and I'm like, okay, just look for the tags and put them together. Just slap them on the field and get as many levels, so more units, more firepower. Which is what my original
Sometimes
thinking
that
was, and that worked out for the first half because everybody else is just biding their time, taking the losses, and building up their
Yeah.
reserves.
because you get extra gold for win streaks, but you also get extra gold for loss streaks. So some really good players will choose to lose about 5 or 6 games in
Yeah.
a row so they can econ better. Yeah,
Right.
I will
and
say
that's
it
part of the reason
was-
why I like that game. Like you can still lose and still come back. You know.
Oh yeah, it's like a loss. Like losing a round is not an immediate loss. It's like you start taking more damage towards the end, where it becomes more dire. I will say there was one game though I played maybe earlier in the week, a couple of days ago, where I went on like a 17 win streak or something,
Holy
and I
shit.
finished
Damn,
second
dude.
that game.
Control
Yeah.
yourself. Summoner.
Dang, for real. That's
It-
dope. Well, I'm glad
it's-
you like it. Now, I will say, I think 4 people is too many to play with. The most I like to play with on TFT is 2. If I'm trying to win. If it's just like, I want to hang out with my friends and we all play this game, you know, then we can trash talk and play with 4 people. But it'd be like that one game with us where I was out first. And then, you know, like I just like walked away and took a break, like stepped away from the computer, said hi to Sarah, like, because I was out for 20 minutes, you know, like
Hell yeah.
that is the one
Yeah.
downfall, you know, when you're
Yeah.
all in a group together.
Right
Also,
now, the only
He's
reason
like, hell
I-
yeah, brother, I kicked your
Yeah.
ass.
right now the only reason I don't want to play with anybody, and not that you guys did that a lot when we played, but then because there's just so much information coming at me, and then now all of a sudden if I'm like, if I ask what does this do or what should I do, I have 3 different voices coming at me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and you'll all have your own play styles, your own compositions, and what you should do. I'm sure like there's like the base information will be the same, sure, but then somebody will tell me you should do this instead, or somebody else will tell me you should do that instead, and I'm like,
Yeah.
let me just figure it out. Because now also on top of all of this, on top of learning the compositions, what hero does what, champion does what, and managing my economy, I also have to learn item combinations.
Right.
Yep. There's
And-
something
Well,
I
and then
can
there's the
offer you
patch
for that.
metas. Like, I would say, like, more than anything, probably the easiest way to learn anything is just to find a streamer you like that plays the game and watch them. Because you'll learn more from them. Because they,
Mhm.
more often than not, know a shit ton more than any of our, you know, our friends. So, like, I don't know. That's my favorite way to do it. Like, Disguised Toast, if you're looking for somebody, or Skara, both awesome.
Nick, as somebody who is also learning how to play to some extent, including learning the item combinations and whatnot, I would highly recommend this to you. It is a application you can download. It's called TF Tactics. It's an application that basically it'll give you a small overlay over your screen, including stuff like, hey, if you hover over a champion you threw in the field, these are the best recommended items for him. And over on the bottom left, it shows, hey, here's a list of all the items you can make. Hey, you got one of those Giants belts that give health? Click on this, it'll show you the combinations you can mix it. That way you can know what item you want to look for at the roulette wheel and whatnot. And so something like that I found was indispensable for me at this point. A lot of the more pro players, if you ever watch the streams, you'll see that they have this. And it's helped me a lot to not have to look at a second screen like, okay, shit, what's this item combination I need for this? Like, how the fuck do I get Last Whisper? What the fuck is that? And so that's been helping me a lot too.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, but beyond that, I had fun with it, and I jumped into a couple of matches over the week. It does take some time,
Mhm.
I've noticed, and I do like that and don't like that. It's a game that at this moment I can't sink my time into because one game is a time sink already.
Yeah.
But then playing one is not enough.
Yeah, my time
Well,
sync
it
just
is available
filled
on your
itself.
phone, and you can just play mobile wherever you are.
Why would I do that when I have 2 screens?
Well, I mean, but if you can't
Hell
be
yeah.
at your computer and you need to be like on the phone with somebody, but they're like a really boring conversator, you just turn it on in the background while you talk to them.
Yeah.
Eh.
Unless your phone is
But,
older
I mean,
than 3
confined-
years old.
Yeah, but confined to the house, it's not like
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be away from my PC at this moment. So
True.
I also don't like
Sure.
playing games on my phone except for like puzzle games. So
You don't want to sit in front of your Netflix machine in the living room?
no, because that's why I have 2 screens. I can put Netflix on one screen and then TFT on the other.
True. That's true.
I'm
it's
so
a-
happy that you like it, buddy.
It's amazing how like over all like since I've been confined, how much this chair has gotten worn down in general, just because I realize I don't sit anywhere else. Like now that I streamed the PS4 games from this chair, I don't sit anywhere else anymore. This is my lair essentially, and it was like that before.
I also-
but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I also have a sorry, I wanted like it just popped in my head. I have a backlog of games, which I'll be able to start working through. And given that my I don't know what Eugene's gonna do with his PS4, whether he wants me to send it back with him or not. But for the moment, I can repurpose it. I do have a capture card.
Yeah, you do, don't you, buddy?
Yeah. The Last of Us. Possibly
Stranding.
give that.
Yeah.
If it's not, I'm not touching Death Stranding. I've watched you play enough of it.
Come on.
I don't want to fucking walk around for 160,000 hours.
Only 80 or 98 and a half. Thank you.
That's not bad. I put
Oh.
250 into Dragon Age Inquisition, so
It's only 45 hours to beat it, and you don't want the platinum trophy. You're better than that, Nick. Because then that'd be 10,001, and then I have to share it with you. You keep away from the Great Connection.
Listen, it has a. It's fine. I'll get the plat on Steam.
Because yeah, he'll be the greater connector.
That means I'm gonna have to play it on Steam too. Do it you know,
You don't
something
play it
that-
a second time.
you know what made me shudder last night? Like, there's so many things my wife can say to me in bed that just makes me. Oh God! I told her I was like, I'm fucking burnt out from Death Stranding and whatnot, and she's like, just play it again. I'm like, she's like, just start over. And I'm like, start over. And I just started muttering like different things. Like I started going A B C D E F H. Oh shit! I guess I'm gonna have to start over. No, starting over on a game is just like a game that takes 100 hours to get to the. No. That's why I hardly touched Stardew Valley. I hate starting over. As my wife goes on full on defense mode in the chat now.
Well, and that's another thing too. Speaking of video games that are coming out, they're talking about what to do with WoW in the new when Burning Crusade is, supposed to come out, whether they want to integrate it or have people start at level 1 again. A lot of people that I know are like, "Yeah, I'll start at level 1." I'm like, "Dude, I've put almost a full actual month of playtime into this character. I don't care if greens are going to replace my purples. I don't want to start from level 1. Do not make me do that grind again."
Just start them at level 58 or level 60. Just let them have that.
Honestly, I'm just wondering about the. This is an interesting case because I'm wondering about the long-term health of the game, but also not because I know it's going to do just fine. Because essentially, everybody's just playing WoW again from the beginning.
Mhm.
That's what's happening, as it were, in that state with that patch, with retail out at the same time as well.
Yep.
And it's honestly objectively on paper, it's stupid.
It's
Yeah.
really stupid. Like RuneScape went old school.
Ridiculous.
RuneScape went like it was like Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist versus Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. They split apart. They're like, hey, here's the old school. Play like it's 2004 or 2002 again. But then they split off in the old school and they introduced content that's only on old school. They kind of made their own stuff using the old engine and all that. And then regular RuneScape 3 just kept doing its thing. But some reason we're entering like this weird parallel time access that is WoW, where people are like, oh my god, Burning Crusade's coming out. It's like, it's okay, it's 2007. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is that apparently this was an actual response from Blizzard. WoW Classic was, because so many people played on illegal private servers because they didn't like retail anymore.
Sounds
That
accurate,
they
actually.
were like, all right, fine, shut down your illegal servers and pay us more money so that you can play on WoW Classic.
I'd like to think that it's the same people that probably play, like, or they played retail for a good point. I feel like they might have gotten some people to start paying the money so they can keep going and whatnot, but it just feels like at this point, it's just people who are sick of playing retail. They got sick of playing the same shit over again, so a better way than playing the same old school shit over again. It's like, okay. I mean,
it has
I mean,
benefits of introducing new people to content they might not have ever had the chance to, but also it's like, are you just gonna like WoW Classic? I honestly thought it was just gonna end there. It was like kind of like
Same.
old school RuneScape. Like it was like, oh WoW Classic, here's something. I mean, it makes sense that people have burned through all this content and are going to be burned through all the content. Now they want more, and so it makes sense from like a player point of view to keep them satisfied and appeased, to give them Burning Crusade, but not even logistically, like operationally, like moving forward, what are you going to do now that you have these two different games running parallel? One might be like maybe 6 or 7 expansions behind, but like, are you going to, like, where do you split your resources? Like, how is, like, not that you don't have to split resources on one hand, it's more technological, where they have to make sure that servers are okay and like making sure that things port override and reactivating some of this old content, but on the other hand, making new content and pushing forward the current game mode. Are they planning on abandoning WoW, retail WoW at some point entirely, bringing WoW Classic up to the current point, and then introducing WoW 2?
WoW 2, huh?
Well, I mean, that was also like a big talking point for a long time, because it just seemed like Blizzard was running out of steam with the current way WoW was going, and so there's a lot of talk about just a full-on revamp of WoW, because the engine is so old that they can't contact the one engineer who wrote a lot of the base code, so they just don't change anything. Like, there's a lot of like old defunct code that they can't change or can't redo because they've tried to redo it and it just broke everything.
Which sucks, but at the
well,
same
that's
time,
what they're sending out messages currently and reaching out to select players, as they've said, to try to determine how the community wants to move forward with WoW, WoW Classic specifically. And I think most players are just hoping that the things they fucked up on, they will not fuck up on again, which I don't trust them to do, because AV double rep was apparently a beloved and wonderful thing, and now they fucked it up. So like, I don't know if I trust them, but I'm hoping for the best, because I really do enjoy the game.
I'm gonna be flat out honest. I don't like Burning Crusades one bit, at all.
Really?
Hated it.
Huh.
But I
What
like
was your
the
favorite expansion then?
Probably
Mr. Pandaria.
Wrath of the Lich King, 100%.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. That's one of the best ones. That's
so-
when Arthas becomes.
That's expansion
bad
3, right?
Yes, it's number 3
after Burning
and
Crusade.
and they're just talking about number 2. So when they talk about this, it's like, I mean, Classic at least had its own nostalgic feel, if not its own issues and whatnot. But the expansion after that's like, cool, I guess. Woohoo! I mean, I get to play as a Draenei Shaman, and so it's like, I got that something to look forward to. Yeah, Blood Elves too, if you really want to. They can finally introduce a city that's dead for the next 20 years. It's so dead that the alliance, like 2 alliance, can come in, sack the leader, and no one bats an eye. It's just
really.
There was a
so
time.
It's like Darnassus.
Yeah, there was a time where me, as a level 80 paladin tank, I went into Kael'thas, found a spot where people can't find me and there's no guards there, and I just started shouting just random things just to see if I could get a reaction. After 10 minutes of that, proceeded to take on 1 versus 1 against the leader, the Kael'thas, well, not the Kael'thas, but whatever the regent is. I fought the boss of that city by myself when it's supposed to be a 40-person boss. No one came. I beat him. It was just like, okay, cool. That's,
Wow.
It's dead.
It's interesting because WoW came out in 2004.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Burning Crusade came out in 2007.
They're burning
years.
through this content, yeah.
Everybody's kind of burned through this content already. And I wouldn't know. I don't know if any of you would know, but I don't know what player reactions were in general or how the community felt back then, waiting 3 years for new content.
Probably the old phrase, if you want somebody to enjoy your food, make them wait. They'll be so hungry they'll eat anything.
And so from Burning Crusade to Lich King, there was 1 year, 2008. Cataclysm came out 2010. Pandaria came out 2012. And then they followed a 2-year break after that. So Pandaria 2012, Draenor 2014, Legion 2016, Azeroth 2018, and now Shadowlands 2020.
Hopefully. I mean, they still haven't even released like the I think there's at least 2, maybe 3 more raids coming out for Classic. Technically 3. You got ZG, as we're gonna agree
20, yeah.
Talk about
And
that
then
coming
AQ
out.
40 and 20.
Then AQ20 and AQ40, which is where you fight an old god essentially, and
Ahn'Qiraj, right?
I believe it's called Ahn'Qiraj, AHN'Qiraj or something like that. Some weird ass fucking thing. And that alone is gonna take a lot of time because I'm not sure if they're gonna follow it like before. There was a world event, basically everybody had to work together to complete just to open the raid. So that should take, you know, depending on how dedicated these motherfuckers are, between a couple of days and a few weeks. And I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out, how that's going to work out. And after that, they should keep them, you know, complacent for at least a couple more months. But yeah.
Oh, people are already, it's only 6 weeks into Blackwing Lair, and people are already just like, man, I'm burning through it. Somebody, like I told you guys, somebody did it in 25 minutes on a European server.
So yeah,
It's just stupid.
got that looking forward to. Hopefully people enjoy Burning Crusades when it comes out. They can start flying in the and whatever it's called. I know it's called Draenor, but I think there's a different name for the actual continent that you go to when you go through the gate and all that stuff.
I want to see a bear bomb.
A what now?
A bear bomb. Apparently
bear.
the druids get a flying form, and the bears can charge. So they set up a macro so that they would fly over Alliance and or Horde cities and in flight form and then drop. And as they got close enough to the ground to target an enemy, they would spam the macro and it would target them and charge, and they take no falling damage. So groups of
Nice.
like raids of bears, level 60, would just fly. I guess they would fly from the skies. So just raining druid bears, just murdering everybody in entire cities.
I think a similar thing I remember seeing people do is druids specifically, since they can shapeshift into creatures, including flying creatures, they would drop down as a boomkin, hit a flying flare with a it's called like a monsoon or a whirlwind or something, where it would push somebody, effectively knocking them off their mount. And then they would just turn into a fucking bird and watch this guy fall to his death. And you did damage to it would count as a kill. So I like the bear bomb a lot better, though. That sounds fucking cool as shit. But yeah. I think we're going to push forward. I didn't make a tangent. I think we had a lot of tangents here about the video game world. So if you don't mind, I'd like to move over to the topic of the show, which is a question. 2 questions, actually. So we got a question from somebody, Nick from Michigan. First off, thank you, Nick, for your question. So in light of recent news...
Not me.
Nicholas from Michigan. That's right. I forgot Nicholas from Michigan. So in light of recent news, it has come to light, redundant, whatever, that a ton of Mario remakes are on their way to us on the Switch in the near future. So, aside from the confirmed Galaxy, Super Mario 64, and the one I'm most excited for, Super Mario Sunshine, what do y'all hope to be on that list of remakes? Also, what other Nintendo games do y'all think, it's messing with me, y'all think is up for the same treatment? So, is there any games that you know existed but you don't touch because they're a bit old school for your taste to have a remake come your way? Cool. It looks like I have 2 deer in the headlights. That's a good response.
I thought about it when I saw the topic, honestly, and I wasn't sure if this was... I don't know. I don't know which games have already had that treatment since I played them, like Star Fox or, Perfect Dark, or I don't know if Perfect Dark's had like a remake. You know what I mean?
Is there
Since I
any games
wasn't
you played as a
in
kid
Nintendo
that
for
you're
so long.
hoping comes out for the Switch, like a revamped version?
See, that's what I mean. I don't know if it has Perfect Dark had a sequel on future consoles though, like, or do they have plans for it? Like, that's
I
I
have
didn't
no
want to be
idea.
like, yeah, Perfect Dark, because I liked Perfect Dark. I would love to see a reboot of GoldenEye. I think
got good
007
news.
GoldenEye would be
They-
super fun.
They in fact made a reboot of GoldenEye from the Nintendo Wii, I believe.
Oh, I would like to see it remastered on the Switch. That's what I would like to see.
Me too. Me too.
I think that'd be a lot of.
There was a remaster of Perfect Dark released in 2010 on the 360.
The Xbox 360?
Yes.
Did Microsoft just get the rights to it, or what's going on with
Yes.
that?
Published by
it's
Microsoft Game Studios.
It's owned
Huh.
by Rare, I believe, which the people that made Conker's Bad Fur Day, Donkey Kong Country, and all that stuff got bought up by Rare. Or sorry, by Microsoft. And so
Okay.
everything
And,
that's like
Perfect Dark
Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, and Perfect Dark was handed off to 4J Studios.
So
Okay.
the good news is Rare retained all the rights. Thank you, Nick, in the chat. But at the same time, there's certain games that just simply can't go onto different systems. Like there's no chance in hell right now that Donkey Kong Country is going to be re-released on the Xbox One X or whatever. It's unfortunate, but they kept certain games like Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo Kazooie, and all the games that came with that and whatnot. And hence, because of that, all the games that are ports or remakes that have been made by them have come out on Xbox. Thanks.
Yeah, so the issue with this question, not that it was a bad question, but the issue with this question is that it just seems very heavily weighted in your favor, Tyler.
Because it's
Because-
Nintendo based?
Yes. So to move away from that, the series of games I'd really like to see come back, and I know they have. Shit, what the fuck was that?
The fuck was that?
Fucking Siri. I don't know.
Siri's
off, Siri.
listening. Siri's like, what
Bitch
games
ass.
do you hope to get excited for? We'll provided a list of fake ads for you.
That scared the shit out of me. I'm not. Oh my
Deus
fucking
Ex
God.
Machina.
I know there was a remaster for the Jack and Daxter series, the core series that they put out on PS4, and I'm gonna try and give that a playthrough. I'd really like to see the original Ratchet and Clanks because those are like the games I played the shit out of. The original Crash Bandicoots, those got a remaster recently for the Switch.
Mhm.
Crash Team Racing. I want to give Spyro a try because I never played Spyro.
Really?
Never played Spyro.
I think
um,
you'd love it, man.
What else? I'd really like to see the fucking Sinnoh remakes happen, but that's
Sinnoh?
just me.
The
Generation
Suno
4
what?
games. Sinnoh region remakes.
Sure.
Oh, Pokemon.
Pearl,
okay.
Platinum,
SINNOH,
Pearl,
yeah.
Diamond.
Oh, just say Pokemon for God's sake.
Well, I was being very specific.
You were. I'm with you.
I'd really like to see them get a reboot. Not a reboot, like just because Platinum is my favorite Pokemon game, personally.
Really?
For me, it is my favorite Pokemon game. I put 250 hours into that game. That was my first game that I was actually playing knowing what I was doing. Got it in 2008 for my DS Lite that my sister threw a remote at my head, aiming for my head, but it hit my DS screen and broke the hinge. I don't know why she was aiming for my head with a TV remote that she chucked at me at full speed. Thankfully missed because that would have been a different accident, and it cracked the LCD screen on my DS Lite and broke the hinge.
I can just imagine
Good
it
thing
now.
it was 12 years ago. You're not mad about it still.
Hits you in the head hard enough, but you keep Pokemon. So like, hello, I'm LR11er, and I love Pokemon.
What else? Yeah, I really like retro 8-bit games, but I found that I don't like playing old games because I'm spoiled. I
That's fair.
like the most I could do is Stardew Valley or something of that like vein in terms of art
Who
style.
knows what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, like okay, art style is one thing, but then in terms of affordances and actual gameplay, like user experience, like the how the user's going to feel and how the player's going to feel playing it, I find it hard sometimes going back to like older games. And like I think as low tech or retro as we've gone that I've enjoyed recently, at least in like the last 2 years, even was Squidlet.
Fair.
Mhm.
That's fair. God damn it, we need Super Squidlet ASAP.
Because we played, even when we played the Master Chief Collection with Halo Reach as a shooter, when I was playing the PvP, the fact that there was no automatic sprint all the time, like you actually had to pick up an armor ability for it, or you
Yeah.
couldn't like mantle up on like short ledges, like that was, it was player affordances and player conveniences or quality of life things that I didn't think that I would miss as much, you know, because you're so wrapped up in this nostalgia. You're like, this is a great game, and for sure, these are all great games. Any game that you might be thinking of, it's just that now, if you've been a current gamer and you're playing recent things and you go back to those, there are things you're gonna miss, or at least that's how it is for me, and it just makes it hard playing old school games.
Hmm.
And it's not even about graphics at that point either. It's just about the actual quality of life, the actual gameplay.
And in regards to the question being weighted a little bit towards me, I think I also have to come with a bit of a handicap here, because if there's one company that's well known for remaking their old titles in order to make more money, the biggest name I think of is Nintendo. And so you're talking about, like, the question asked, what do I hope is on that list of remakes? Well, all the ones that I really would want, they already fucking did for the most part. Okay. You know, Ocarina of Time. Hey, we made a 3D version of that for the 3DS, and I'm sure we'll see eventually a version of like that on the Switch or something like that. You know, Super Smash Bros. Hey, gotcha. 3 different fucking times, probably 4. Just like thinking of those kind of games. And let's be real, a lot of the older Mario games, unless they come with a certain type of flair, like say Sunshine or whatnot, Super Mario 64, I'm okay with it staying where it is, because we got Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Odyssey, like the same iterations given a fresher, different thing of levels. I don't want to play the same old levels over again like that.
Right. It's
But-
kind of like the same thing of people remaking movies or rebooting movies because they know it'll sell, and they don't actually are not actually good movies. Some things I don't like. I can understand, like with the Pokemon games as an example. Like with Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, I'm only asking for a remake because that's kind of been their trend. That's been their, you know, the way they've done things. You know, every couple of generations they'll reboot the previous generations and bring them up to like current standards with an updated Pokédex and stuff. And I'd really love in higher graphics to be able to explore that world again, because it's been done before and that's what they've done. But in terms of taking like a long running series and just like, hey, we want more money, so we're just gonna redo this.
Was
And I'm like,
Let's Go essentially
And if you
just
buy
a
this,
It was
remake
the
of
spin-off.
Blue, Red, and Yellow?
but it was a
Effectively?
blue red, kind of reboot,
Okay.
but it's a spin-off.
Okay, cool.
There's a couple of games, like I said, ones that have the extra flair that kind of make them maybe more spin-off than anything. Like, I always joked about how cool it would be if there was a new Pokesnap game. Maybe not a remake, but so much as like
Safari?
a sequel. Yeah, just like a version where you can take a picture and whatnot. Using the Switch gyroscope features was pretty cool.
But I think that like the Pokesnap, I've never played it, but then looking at people talk about it just in general every now and then, and also looking at the technology they had then and what they did and the technology we have now, that's a game that makes sense to be remade. It makes 100%
It
sense
would
to
just
like
be
remake that
much
game.
better.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, their commercial partner won't be able to profit like they did when the original game came out, because their big thing was like, hey, you can take pictures, take the memory card, go to a Blockbuster and get it printed out, and this is the picture you took in game. Rest in peace, Blockbuster.
Take it to
Another-
a Redbox.
Take it. Can you imagine that? Ah, shit.
Partnership with Kinko's.
Another game series that's come up to mind. It comes with a couple of caveats, because I don't want this company to get more money. But if they could somehow do a remake of the original quadrilogy of Metal Gear Solid, that would be great, instead of selling me the original ports. Right now, Metal Gear Solid 4, there's 2 different ways you can play it legitimately. PlayStation 3, PS Vita. Both are dead as shit. So if I could, if I wanted to play it nowadays, if I wanted to stream it, guess what Tyler has to do? He has to find Yeah, I don't have a PS3 anymore. It's long gone. And
Oh, okay.
I'd either have to break the fucking glass to my emergency fire extinguisher that is the PS Vita up there, or I'm going to have to emulate it.
You know, when you said that you were gonna nail the PS Vita to the wall, all I imagined is you just having Amanda hold it up there and you pull out a long nail and just go.
Like, I pull out like a 3-inch nail, I'm like, oh, this is too short. And I pull out like a 5-inch one, I'm like, yeah, this will do.
Goes right through the fucking screen. Which is why I think, in terms of like the whole compatibility issue as well with consoles, I think that's the one, putting aside like everything else, the one good thing that Microsoft has done with Xbox is work on their backward compatibility program. And like, you know, they might not have been doing well as a console overall, but I think they were thinking about bringing this kind of experience where instead of like giving you the option to be able to play these games from the original Xbox, the 360, and also the Xbox One on one place, and they've sort of laid that foundation and expectation, and I hope they follow through with that moving to whatever comes next. So like you don't have to, and I know the PS5, I think they've talked about it, they want to do that as well, which is good because again, this is where competition is good. Yeah.
I have so many PlayStation 2 and 3 games that I would love to play again, but I want to play SSX Tricky, man. And I don't want to play it on that, you know? I want to play it on this with an updated patch that I download on my PS4 and or PS5.
Right.
Whatever it's going to be. So I'm, yeah.
Because there are definitely some games, like with my PS2, sorry, Tyler, but the last thing about that is with my PS2, like, as much as I might want some of these quality of life upgrades, and as much as I might find it hard to play older games, I still want to like have that option to be able to play the old version. As weird as that it is, as like hypocritical as that might be of me. Well, Classic never got a graphics update. It all looks the same. Fucking to me, anyways. It all looks like it's fucking
okay.
It's amazing. Be nice.
Are you guys having fun with WoW?
Yeah.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Fuck what I say. True. I'm a piece of shit. I'm a hater. But like, I'd like to be able to go back and experience like this is what it used to be like. Wow, I really like it, or I really hate it. You know, and Halo did that really good with Combat Evolved. I don't know if this is there for Halo 2 for the Master Chief Collections, but with Combat Evolved on the controller, you press a button and then it automatically switches between current graphics and old graphics.
Mm-hmm. They did with the Master Chief Collection as well.
Yeah. One last game series I probably could think of, and going back to the Nintendo, something that I feel like they could totally go for, but for some reason they've chose to create a bunch of sequels that have made it fall dead in the water. Fucking Paper Mario. Bring back the original Paper Mario for the 64, or better yet, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door for the GameCube, and bring that back. Like, I think the Thousand Year Door, it would just be a smooth port over, I'd like to think, and that would be amazing.
Because it keeps the same essential art style, you know, right?
100%. Same art style. The original Paper Mario was a bit archaic. You know, you got to understand this game came out in the 90s, but I think they perfected the style and animation with their second game that came out for the GameCube. But then they started going for Super Paper Mario, which was completely different because it turned it from a turn-based RPG over into a action-based RPG. And that was weird, having to actually jump on your enemies versus choosing to do so. And that was... I'm willing to work with it. It was still a decent story. The script was great. But then they started going way the fuck wrong with different shit like Paper Jam, Sticker Star, and all that stuff for the 3DS and I believe the DS. And they just went so much in the wrong direction. I was like, holy shit, this game has no hope. No one's having fun with this. And then they... Yeah.
Are you going to... I don't know, how do you think you're going to react to the new UI of the Final Fantasy remake? Because it's not just the new UI. It's some character design. It's like a different combat system. Are you worried that is going to be a negative experience for you? Or are you kind of okay with the previews of what you've seen?
I sure in hell hope not, because I played the first hour and a half of the game already.
Okay.
with the demo
That's
that
right.
came
I
out.
forgot that you had previewed it. Yeah, that's my bad. I completely forgot you had already done that. I was just like, oh no, he doesn't like when things change if it's a classic remake.
Well,
That's a really different game.
I mean, the way they changed it with the Paper Mario series is they added different styles. I mean, the fighting mechanic, it was just that one game of going from turn-based to action. They started adding stuff like the most infamous one in my head is called Toad Hunts, where in order to complete an area, you would have to find those little fucking toad motherfuckers in different spots and just try to collect them from an area just so you could progress. And going from, trying to play the game, enjoying the script to like, great, I get to search for these motherfuckers. It's like, no, get out of here. So I got so much hope when they made a cool looking version. They brought back the art style. The script sounded spot on with Paper Mario Color Splash for the Wii U. And they fucked up royally. And I got so much hope for it, but then they goofed up because they took out experience entirely. So anytime you got into a fight, it didn't matter. You're not going to get any benefit out of it whatsoever. You don't become stronger in any shape or form. And then they made it your attacks and whatnot a limited option. You had to collect cards in order to use the cards to attack or do spells. And so turning it from a RPG to I gotta collect all this stuff just so I can go into this area and be ready just in case I need to get into a fight that I can avoid because there's no benefit to it. It was just frustrating. Just give me the simple HP MP level shit. Let Mario spin around like a piece of paper and I'm happy. I thought it was simple, straight to the point. And, I'd say Final Fantasy VII, but, I mean, here we are in 1 week, right? But,
You know what's, I heard with Final Fantasy VII that physical copies are on sale right now, but they're refusing to ship out unlock the digital copy early version despite the physical copy being available in stores.
Yes, I am well aware of that, and Nick in the chat and I are very upset because I'm getting it digitally and he was trying to pre-order it physically. He can't because they pretty much barred it because of supply issues. But anybody that's bought it, as soon as it came out, they tried pre-ordering it. They're sending out those copies early, and apparently a lot of people have Final Fantasy VII right now. And so he has to wait until pray to God that there's a physical copy somewhere near him, and I gotta wait until the release date, which this is, I don't know, what do you want to call it, choosy beggar, I guess you can say. If those people that are suffering on the same condition as I am, I should be able to get the copy early too. Just release it early, but whatever, I guess I'll wait the full week. And for those who are in trying times, if they get a chance to get it early, then good for them, I guess. Eventually, the group that would get screwed out then is the people that couldn't pre-order a physical copy, and so they either have to get digital or they wait. Probably longer than the release date for a physical version to appear. So it's like, somebody's going to get screwed over in the setup. I might as well be okay with it that it's me, essentially, and pray to God that it works out. But, yeah, opinions. I'll be able to maybe not get a full-on review, but since hopefully I can maybe get a platinum or something like that, that way, much like Death Stranding, as Nick said months upon months ago, I can't give a proper review of Death Stranding until I give it the completion it deserves, so I can give an educated opinion on it. So that's exactly what I
said.
What did you say then?
I said you can't review a whole game if you only played a few hours of it. All I meant was you have to preface what kind of review with how much time you've played.
Oh boy, the reviews I will give then, huh? It's an okay game. If I
am excited to hear like a full-fledged, 100+ hour review with a platinum trophy of that game, I think that would be valid.
If I could get 1,000 words for every hour of that game that I played and get, well, no, that would be 98,000 words. And I can just say, it's an okay game.
You'd still finish your review quicker than fucking G.R.R. Martin will put out the next Game of Thrones book.
Fair.
Not that I read. Who reads?
Who fucking reads nowadays? J.R.R. Martin?
G.
G.R.?
Yeah.
Yeah. His name is George.
George. Okay.
R. Martin. Yeah. I thought you said Jay, and I was like, I think you just mixed George R. Martin
Tolkien
J.R.
and
Tolkien.
no.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we start to wrap this beautiful episode up?
Feeling good. Feel wonderful.
All right. Well, Nick, if you don't mind, could you take care of game releases?
Not a problem. First, I gotta educate myself on what games are actually coming out. Oh, look at this! I have a handy dandy list. Starting off April 7th, we've got a game called Below, coming out on PS4. This game is already out on PC. Below is a solitary journey through the haunted depths of a forbidden isle. It is a dungeon crawler with a top-down view. Looks kind of cool, actually. I like the art style, but this is getting its console release now, and it's coming out on the PS4 on the 7th. Next, we have Disaster Report 4, Summer Memories, April 7th, PS4, Nintendo Switch, PC.
Looks like it
I
came
didn't know
out.
there were 4 of these games.
I didn't know there was one of these games. Came out for the PS4 in Japan in 2018. It's apparently finally making the American audience.
It's a Japanese game, action-adventure game developed by
It has
Granzella.
it has a semicolon in it and the number 4. How can it not be a Japanese game at this point? Like, it fits the
I
criteria.
mean, there's no XD and there's no like weird names or
Well,
combinations.
then we know it's a
Look
Square
at
Enix
Z.
game.
Yeah, like it just seems like a normal title, so I didn't want to assume this case. Yeah, it's an action adventure game. As Tyler said, came out in 2018 already for the PS4 and for the Switch last year in Japan, and now we're getting the worldwide release on PC, Switch, and PS4. And then finally, we have the just a little game here, Final Fantasy VII, coming out April 10th officially for the PS4.
That's crazy. I wonder, Glenn, can you review that next week? Give us first thoughts at the release. Let me. What's it called?
Final Fantasy.
7 remake.
I
if you
will
could?
never remake. I will never review.
You'll
that
never
game.
remake it. How dare you? Please.
I will never
get
do
yourself hired
anything
by
with that
Square
game.
Enix. You'll never do it.
I'm drinking Coke through a coffee mug.
Yeah. What the fuck? Actually. me that one
It's a
time I
big
just randomly
koo-
started drinking
It's a
hot
big
sauce.
koozie.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Apparently. Jeez. Glenn, what game are you talking about?
What do you mean? What game am I talking about? Final Fantasy VII?
Remake?
Yeah.
You just said you won't do anything. I just had you say it. Haha, gotcha, motherfucker.
Aw, you
Oh, you sneaky Sue, you.
sneaky boy.
Clever girl. So, and if you don't mind, Glenn, I'd like to give a shout out to our one game that we got a birthday this week. For the podcast episode that's going to be coming out April 6th, right now, this Monday, or Monday today, if you're listening on the podcast, we have one game we found. An important game. Changed the whole world. Not really.
Yeah.
So, happy birthday. Happy 5th birthday to Honeypop. Or Honeypop. Is it Honeypop or Honeypop?
Honeypop.
It makes sense that it's Honeypop. For some reason, I always called it Honeypop.
Okay.
I usually, like, when I say the title, it's like, completed that puzzle.
That's true.
That's a game, huh?
It's
is.
a game. It's a. If you like Bejeweled and you're over 18, you should try out this game.
Oh,
And don't forget,
man.
the Steam version is not the true version. Don't forget to download the proper version that gives you the most clear picture you can ask for. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for episode 94. Happy birthday to Honey Pop, which actually kind of gives it a bit of a different meaning now that I think about it. Oh my. Glenn, did you just preview it? What's going on here? Don't hurt
That was
yourself.
light bulb. That was a light bulb. I was
What's
like,
that?
oh my God, honey.
You're going to... Oh, Glenn's going to stream Honey Pop next week? Good deal.
It's
What's
actually one of the
Honeypop?
few games. It's actually one of the few games that's banned. From even being a category.
It's banned on
from
Twitch. Yeah.
What? Why?
I was waiting. I thought you were going to say
Um,
why. I was like, well, but then you said why. I'm like, oh boy. Hands
Asked
together.
for it, so.
Deep inhale. explicit content, nudity.
That's a
There's
good way
boobs
to
and
put
stuff.
yeah.
Yes, and stuff.
Oh man.
Let's just say my artwork would be very well showcased on that.
Okay.
Have you ever wanted a dating sim where you get through those dates excellently by playing Bejeweled? No? Well, here you go.
It's honestly pretty
No.
challenging at some points, but they make you work for it,
Yeah,
which
you
I
don't.
appreciate.
For it.
Yeah, you will.
Work.
You can find me on Twitter at 2timestyler. Nick, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch and Instagram at LR11. You can also find me on Twitter at LR the 11th, all letters. What about you, Glenn? Where could people find you?
You just a little Shatner there. Just an odd pause. Where can we find you? You can find me on Twitch at Razeth, Rezth. And then on Twitter at Glenn Houston, Glenn with 2 N's. Houston looks like Huston. Where can we find you, CMQ?
Hello, it is I, CMQ. You can find us on over on Twitter at CMQ Network. CMQ Network. Cool name. You can also email us at casualmasterquest@gmail.com, or you can check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Just search for Casual Master Quest. Most importantly, though, if you want to join the Discord where you can ask questions much like Nicholas from Michigan, because the name part got stuck with one of the co-hosts, or you could just enjoy DMD memes. You can talk about video games and whatnot. We like to shit on a lot of bullshit that's been going on, or just in general talking and have a good old time with the community. Go ahead and check out the Discord. The link to be invited is actually on the Twitter at CMQ Network. Just look for the Linktree link. Click on that. Find the Discord. Welcome. Easy as that. Question mark, profit. Last but not least, we do have a D&D podcast called Casual Questmasters, where we're currently trying to figure out how to survive a village that is being ravaged by frost giants. We also had a couple of weird moments where one of the characters trying to introduce human compassion embraces, also known as hugs, to the Goliath population. There's a lot of Goliath issues going on, and we're hoping to see.
They are quite large issues.
Quite large issues. One would say they're giant issues. But we're dragging on, white adult dragging on. And I think that's going to be it. That was episode number 94. That was Nick. That was Glenn. This was Tyler. And that was Casual Master Quest. I think that's going to be it for the show. Thank you guys for listening. Hope to see you on Thursday if you want to enjoy D&D. And don't forget, to never stop the grind. We'll see you next week, guys.
I think I hated like the last minute of those puns. Just like straight up hated them.
How bad did you hate them?
Not that bad.
If they were my wife's cooking, they would. I don't know. I just wanted to do like a bad pun.
Whoa, we can't be
Finish off.
sexist in 2020.
Well, I know it was supposed to be like an old timey joke. That's why it was.
Why don't you go in the kitchen, Glenn?
I do quite often. I'm usually the one that shops.
Oh
at the
yeah?
store.
Do you know where your butter is stored?
Yes.
Well, kudos.
In
Well,
the
there's a
fridge,
Tell them
dumbass.
ribbon that we got way too much because we don't usually use a lot of butter, but we got like one of the big tubs to make sure we had enough.
Huh.
Why don't you get the butter? Why don't you make her a sandwich? Well, I do quite often. Make her sandwich.